What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back with a Love and Marriage Huntsville Extra, honey. We got Carlos King, honey. He does an interview where he talks about Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunion, and him being the host of the reunion. And also, he talks about how he said on the reunion that Coleslaw wasn't a side in Martell Holt's marriage, okay? She wasn't just a side dish. She was the whole damn restaurant. I say, no, Carlos, she was not the whole restaurant, honey. She was more or less the drive-through. She was an easy convenience, honey. Okay, that's how Miss Robinson see it. But anyways, honey, without further ado, I'm going to play that audio for you guys, and I will be in and out with my commentary.
About the hosting role. We saw you going in and letting everybody know that you're going to be the host. Some people were scared. Some people were like, all right, let's go. What made you decide that you were going to be the host?
Yeah, so, one of the things about Love and Marriage Huntsville is the show's been on for, I think, 3 years. And last year we did not have a reunion because of COVID, and I'm on keeping my cast safe. And I did not want to do a virtual reunion. No shade to those who do. I wasn't doing one. So I made sure to at least make up for lost time. And I knew that we had to have somebody that was able to really know the history of this franchise and to really go there with the questions. And because I had experience hosting the Hollywood Divas reunions and the Next 15, the OWN network said to me, you should do it. And I was like, okay, I should do it. You're right, let's do it. And I wanted to make my hosting opportunity a big story amongst the cast, because my producers kept saying to me, you need to film them knowing you're the host. Like, I don't think you understand that it's going to be a big deal. Because, I don't operate in that way. So, long story short, we made it part of the story, and I'm glad we did. Because you saw some folks were not happy.
I mean, because like, you're almost, to me, you can let me know if I'm incorrect, you're almost like the big brother. You know everything. So it's just kind of like if it's somebody who else is a host who's they're just watching, then it'll be like, okay, they're just going off what they see, but you know the behind the scenes. So I would be kind of scared. I'd be like, oh, is he gonna say something that didn't even happen on the show? Like, I can understand it. I was kind of scared for them. I was like, ooh.
Y'all remember Martell was nervous, Tisha and Marceau. Okay, miss 15 years and not a word from you. Okay, put some respect on my toxic marriage, okay? She know that marriage is toxic. That's why she and Marceau was worried, baby. Okay, they was worried about Carlos being the host. How did Maurice and Kimmy, how did they react? I forgot about them, you guys. Put it in the comments. I think Kimmy was cool. I think maybe Maurice was a little nervous, honey. Okay, because he got his cell phone there and lied, honey. Lied about knowing about Coleslaw and hanging out with her and Martell, honey.
We're going to get some real tea out here.
And we did, girl.
You did.
Yes.
Now, there were some moments where, like, you were even shocked. You were just like, oh. One of the moments where you asked Martell, like, whether he would be married still, like, and he never answered. Did you expect that, or,
No. I knew that I wanted to get down to the nitty-gritty of the history of he and Melody's marriage, but also the history of his relationship with the other woman, and I knew that he trusted me and felt comfortable telling me things. So when I say to you, I literally allowed myself to be present and allowed myself to feed off of what was given to me from the cast, in this case, Martell. So again, going back to me hosting, I don't think any other host could have extracted that out of him, at least to the point where he was so worried about his truth that instead of lying, he decided to just not answer the question, which honestly, I can appreciate that. In a sense, like, you know, I can appreciate you at least saying, I'm so comfortable answering the question that I don't want to answer it.
My thing is this: if you've been sticking your thing up in somebody for over 5+ years, you done had a baby with them, admit that you care about the woman, right? Like, words of affirmation, affirm her, let her know, hey, you know, let the world know, hey, I got feelings for Coleslaw. That's my girl. You know, she brings this side out of me. I am probably maybe one of the only people that wasn't impressed with his silence. I just feel like when a man really cares about you, he's willing to speak his truth and just, you know, be honest and transparent and authentic. And, you know, he will really just share how he feels, because my thing is, you already didn't hurt Melody, so I know damn well you ain't trying to spare her feelings, because you wouldn't have got yourself into this big mess in the first place. So I know that's not why you're not willing to speak on Coleslaw. You know what I'm saying? So Martell Holt, the truth will set you free, honey, okay? And I just feel like Martell is not ready to come to terms with how he really feels about Coleslaw, okay? Because I think some of it may just hurt her feelings, okay? He may care for her, but I do feel like he got with her because she, more than Melody, looks up to him, you know, sees him as, look, somebody that he's not, okay? Somebody that's a businessman and that's out in these streets making power moves, okay? And Melody, you know, she know he full of bullshiggity, honey. Coleslaw know he full of bullshiggity too, because why did she get her ass on a Tasha K interview and say, well, no, we not together, we're broken. Y'all been broken and keep y'all from screwing and creating a child, so make it make sense. Why are y'all not together? Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you carry on an affair with somebody for so long to not get anything out of it? Like, that is hustling backwards if I have ever seen it, honey. Okay, how you doing?
I prefer that versus like saying a lie for the sake of the lie sounding good. So I did appreciate that, but girl, when I say to you, I had no idea that he was not going to answer the question, and I had no idea that his fellow cast members were going to answer it for him.
Ooh, yeah, that was that was a hard moment for me, because like you've been married to this person for so long, and you know now they're divorced, but it's just kind of like, so like what does the past mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, somebody's like grateful for the past and everything, yes, moved on, but it's just kind of like, so do you regret everything? I had like a lot of questions. So
no, it was interesting, and what was also interesting is a lot of people were like, oh, you're trying to hype up the other woman, you're hyping her up. I have no bone in this dogfight, right? I'm here to ask the questions that my audience wants to know. Mm-hmm. And Melody is somebody who I love and respect, and I will never do anything to intentionally disrespect her. You know how Beyonce has her beehive? Mm-hmm. Melody has a beehive called the millimeters. Oh. They're called the millimeters. She named them, right? Mariah Carey has her lamb. Rihanna has her navy. Melody got the millimeters, honey. And when I say the millimeters were on my page, like on the comments attack, how dare you disrespect Melody? And I'm like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I had to ask the question. And for me, I wasn't bigging up the other woman, because again, I'm not in this relationship. What I was saying was, Martell called this woman a peasant, right? Mm-hmm. People call her Coleslaw because, you know, they say she's a side item. Mm-hmm. So for me, being somebody who's logical, when I said she's the whole restaurant, I wasn't saying I think she is. I was saying, Martell, you must think she's this because why else would you go back to this situation for 5 years? Like,
and through a pandemic.
Your relationship. So,
yeah. So I don't know if you can. So let's talk about this other woman. There's been mention of her plenty of times, and we know there's a baby. He has a boy, so congratulations to them. Is there any plans of this other woman revealing herself in the show? Because I kind of want to, like, I feel like, and it depends on her personality, but I feel like she should have some time to at least, defend herself or, explain or have her say. Has there been any talk?
Child, how the hell do you defend being a side chick? Okay, it's nothing really she can say at this point. I don't want to see her on the show. I think her joining the show would bring the show's value down. I just don't believe that people should be rewarded for their bad behavior. It's already too much of that, okay?
Listen, one thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville and the shows that I produce, I follow the reality, right? I follow what my cast members are willing to give. I'm not the type of producer who goes behind my cast members' back and reveals somebody that they had no idea was going to appear. I don't operate that way. No shade to those who do. That's just not my blueprint. So my answer to that is it would have to be something that the collective would want to do, and then it's a conversation. For example, Maurice, ex-wife Kyla, there was a conversation about her being on the show, like several conversations about that. And to Kyla's credit, she agreed to do it because she wanted to share her side of the story. And Maurice wanted it to happen. And then Kimmy wanted it to happen. So that's the way that I operate. It has to be the collective agreeing to it because I'm not here to disrespect anybody.
Okay. All right. Just, because again, I think you're the big brother of these shows. There has been some, rumors, cheating rumors of some of the husbands. I don't want to say a lot of husbands. Don't want to put it out there. Do you go and invest? Like, is there somebody on your team that goes and investigates? Not necessarily bring it to light, but so you're just not caught off guard, or you're just like, all right, you just see it happening. You're just gonna let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, it's the latter. Again, I don't orchestrate anything. I'm not the FBI. I'm not going to, investigate these accusations. That's not the type of television that I produce, which is why my cast enjoy still working. Because one thing about the shows I produce is they all feel like, look, I signed on to do the show. I'm going to be open and honest about anything that comes my way. So it has to be organic. There's a lot of rumors of even cast members. So what we do is we allow them to address it, but it's not anything remotely where producers are going behind their backs investigating. Girl, we got that much time to do that.
There's some rumors that I hear over and over again. I'm just like, so are we gonna at least, just
Yeah, but I feel like we have, listen, obviously, a lot of people are like, Carlo, you didn't ask Marcel about the side baby. I'm like, guys, he addressed it in the first 2 episodes of the season. Like, he and Tisha had a sit-down conversation where she said, if this was ever to come out, I'm going to take half from you.
Yeah.
And we all know that that's a damn lie. But anyways, honey, my issue that I had with Carlos at that reunion was I felt they should have spent more time getting on Marceau for not getting up to say a few kind words at that little vow renewal in Vegas that him and Tisha was supposed to participate in. Instead, it became everybody is against Lewis and Tiffany and they're nosy and they want to spill everybody else's tea but hide theirs. It became more or less about that instead of us really as the viewing audience, really hearing the cast and Carlos, really stick it to Marceau and make him stand in his shit and admit why he couldn't get up to say a few kind words about his wife of 15 years. He kept trying to talk about the mathematics of the situation. Oh, well, me and Tisha, we've been together 15 years and they only been together for a few years. And, they basically newlyweds, and what can they tell us? And we know everything about marriage. Yeah, but are y'all really conducting your marriage in a way where both of you all are happy? Because nigga, survey says that's a lie, and your wife is unhappy because every season she brings her ass on down to the Love and Marriage Huntsville show, okay, and complains, Marceau don't spend time with me and the kids. He don't eat with me and the kids. We ain't been out on no dates. Like, y'all can be together for 15 plus years and still be unhappy, okay? There's a lot of that going on, you guys, in the world, in these relationships. A lot of people are not happy with their mate and have not been for some time. And it's all about being open and honest and communicating that. And also doing something about the problem, because I really hope going into season 4, Marceau treats Tisha better and takes her out on dates and spends time with, her and the kids. Put it down in the comments, you guys, if you think Marceau will change his ways. I say, hell to the no, to the no, no, no.
He said, I don't have a baby. So no, one thing about this show, I will say, we do address rumors that are prevalent in their world, because again, I bow down to my cast. They are so open and honest that they surprise me with that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, kudos to them, because, I'll be like, we're not talking anything about anything. Let's just watch the kids play. Like, that would be my thing. So that's the reason I'm not on reality. So kudos to them.
Girl.
So you said that, and you do have the eye as far as picking the right people to be, the main people on the show. With that with that said, when you have the cast fully together, do you already forecast, like, okay, these two are going to have problems? This is like, do you kind of see certain things that, like, you can't quite, you don't know exactly, but you see some stuff happening?
I mean, don't call me Miss Cleo, but I do feel like I have the wherewithal where I see things before they happen. I don't know what that's about. Again, I don't know what to call it, to be honest with you. But to answer your question, yes, I can predict exactly where things are going to go based on the insight that I get from my cast. So when you're doing a show, you speak to each and every cast member in nauseam. Like, you have to get everything out of them for you to understand where their story's going. So you know everything. So you may know that, this person may not like this person, or this person has these strong convictions that's against this person just by courtesy of their convictions.
Right. So
you know things in that sense, but I'm not ever surprised by anything. I see things based on the fact that I just have conversations with them, and I can pretty much understand where things are going. And I credit that to being a journalist since high school. Like, I just, once you tell me a story, I pretty much can predict the outcome.
Okay. So you kind of knew, because it's kind of like Tiffany. She kind of rubs me the wrong way, but then I could see both sides. So did you after you talked to her and everything, you already kind of knew that she was going to just be fully transparent and...
Yes. So we did a series of casting because I wanted to bring a new couple with a different perspective. Because one thing I don't want to do with this show is have the storyline still out or things become predictable. So I remember watching Tiffany's casting tape, and I would never forget this. I was on a plane for 4 hours, and there was nothing to watch. So I said, let me just work. So I was watching Tiffany's casting tape, and I was texting my producer like, "Oh, this girl is something. Like she speaks her mind without knowing what she's saying is interesting." And to me, that's the beauty of a reality star is when they have no filter. She had no filter. She admittedly was a fan of the show. She knew Melody. Huntsville is this big, so everyone knows everybody anyway. And she had an opinion. And one thing I know about working on shows is oftentimes, and this may be a surprise to your reality, oftentimes when you interview people to be on the show, they don't have an opinion. And that's not real life. That's not interesting to watch.
That's
so
right.
She had an opinion, and she wasn't this loud person with it, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was very discreet. And you're like, is that shade? Like, what is that? So I see why people have this love-hate relationship with her, because she's hard to figure out. But I'm hoping that in this new season, you'll get to see more than what you saw last season.
And I told you, I like Tiffany and I like Lewis. And am I in agreement with everything that Tiffany and Lewis has did on the show? No. You know, I didn't really like how they both acted after Maurice and Kimmy checked them about the whole monster vaping. Tiffany began crying, and, you know, I didn't like all of that, because I'm like, if you was bold enough to bring that shit up at the table, then, you know, shit, be able to stand and be corrected as well, you know. So I didn't like all that crying and the light-skinned Karen thing, and then you got Big Lou talking about, well, if I would have took that drink, I would have did something. I'm like, now, Lewis, you know you wasn't gonna do nothing, baby, okay? But like I told y'all, I really like them. I like how Lewis treats his wife. I consider myself to be an empath. I'm very big on energy. I can tell a lot about a person by their energy. And I just really feel that of all the husbands, he is the most respectful to his wife. Now, will that change in time? Maybe. You know, we have to see more of Lewis and Tiffany. But to me, they seem to offer a balanced perspective on marriage. A lot of people want to get on them and say, well, y'all divorced. What do you know? Shit, the most successful people out in the world in relationships and, you know, that have been married have failed. And if you look at life, you know, most successful people have failed, you know, the most. They're not afraid of failing, you know, and they understand the role that failure plays in having a successful relationship or marriage, because they know that, hey, I'm not perfect. I may have did this wrong in my marriage. I may have came from this perspective when really I should have came from this perspective. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. You know, there's a humility there with Tiffany and Lewis that is not there with Marceau. Marceau is very much so unaware. And it's not an unawareness, though, where he's ignorant. It's kind of like, I see that my shit is not right, but I'm going to sweep it under the rug and hope that y'all don't see it. Him and that dingbat, Tisha, that he's with, you know, they both play that game. And Lewis and Tiffany, they not here for that shit, naive, honey. They not here for that. So I think going forward into this new season, there will be more problems, okay? Mark my words, between Marceau and Tisha versus Tiffany and Lewis. Those couples are going to go at it because they are so different. And Marceau and Tisha, to me, they represent a couple that does a lot of complaining, especially Tisha, and then don't do nothing about it. But then want to brag. But we together though. We've been together the longest out of everybody. No, y'all know how to put on a united front. Okay, but guess what? Miss Robinson was born at night, but not last night, okay? Y'all need to put on an even better front, because I could see right through y'all shit that y'all call a marriage, honey. Okay, excuse me, but honey, tell the truth and shame the devil, honey, okay?
Yeah, I feel like Tiffany, I think no matter where you are, I think everybody kind of knows a Tiffany. It's just kind of like you know, you're either friends with her or she's that chick in the office where you're like, I'm good. But opposed to the extremes, you know what I'm saying? Some people will see, the yelling and all that stuff. That's an extreme. That might not be part of your life, or it might be your anti them. But Tiffany, I feel like Tiffany's everywhere. You can see the Tiffany everywhere. It's just and then that cool. I was just kind of, that's a whole nother. I don't want to take up
tell me which one.
I mean, the one where her first meeting where she was talking about the sun. I was just kind of like,
yeah.
That's the rules of the game. You don't talk about people's children. That's one of the top 10. Let's.
And yes, that was wrong, but see, that it went over a lot of y'all heads that Maurice didn't even tell his wife, Kimmy, about what his son was doing. Kimmy was blinded by that. She knew nothing about it. So to me, it revealed that there are communication issues, within Kimmy and Maurice's marriage. We have seen it on other occasions. So yeah, they didn't like that their spot was blown up, in terms of that as well.
It was.
I know now, girl.
It was one of those things. that kind of threw me off. I was like, ooh, you didn't want to pull her aside, and you weren't even sure. I think that's the same thing with me. Just being part of the journalism industry for so long. I want to know the facts first before I say anything. Or if I'm not sure, I attribute it. It's this is what I heard, but, and then if it's something I heard, I don't even bother because I don't want...
It's not about journalism, though. And I really do understand where she's coming from, guys, but when you get on these reality shows, it's all about having a personality, having a opinion, like Carlos said. It's messy, it's drama. You can't be afraid to step on anybody's toes. You got to tell people how it is. So yeah, you can come with the facts all you want to, like an attorney, but you gotta have that personality. And to me, in order to do reality TV well, it helps to have a polarizing personality. I feel like them the people that's the most successful, so.
That's the reason I'm not on, reality TV. So here we are.
Girl.
I think we're going to get to that. I have a question about that. So you announced season 4. What is the hopes? Because I know with reality TV, there's nothing that, is scripted. But what are your hopes for season 4 for the show?
Based on where we left off, I hope that we can really uncover what happened on the Atlanta guys trip. That broke the internet. So I'm hoping.
Is that the trip where Maurice wasn't there? And he was there? He was all up in the picture? Put it in my comments, guys.
Hope that we can really uncover what happened on the guys trip in Atlanta. So that's one.
Please.
And listen, I want to bring fresh storylines to this new season. I want to show how Martell and Melda are living, as single people. I think the audience is very curious to see what that looks like. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to introduce new faces. I think the biggest thing for me, again, is I don't want to tell a stale storyline.
Right.
And I think the reason why Love and Marriage Huntsville has been like this little engine that could is because every season something bigger and bigger and bigger happens, and you're like,
right.
Wait, Carlos, I need to catch up on this. So there's a lot of stuff already happening. We started shooting 2 weeks ago, and girl. In 2 weeks in?
Damn.
Before Christmas?
Girl, talk about a Christmas gift. This cast, listen, I may be Santa Claus, but this cast is giving me gifts. Like, they're my little elves. They're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like what I've heard time and time again for people who have been on reality shows is that at some point you just forget when the camera's there. Because, like, Martell be saying some stuff, and I'm just kind of like, would you, like, you know there's a camera there, right? Like, but then it just kind of feels like at some point you've already signed on. You're going into season 4. Like by the time season 2 comes around, you're just like, we're here. Like I don't even.
Like the jig is up. It is what it is.
Yeah, because he says some wild stuff sometimes. It's just kind of like.
I know, but I gotta be honest with you. I love that about him is that because again I've been producing reality for like 15 years, so I'm used to people like I'm not talking about that. Or, nope, I don't feel any kind of way.
Right.
So I appreciate when someone is just honest. Mm-hmm. And I know that may sound like crazy, like Carlos's honesty, but the reason why you, for example, are like, I can't believe he said that is because you know that he must have meant it if he said that shit on camera.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of one of those things where what I do love about the show is there's a great balance. You're seeing relationships, you're seeing Black love, and you're also seeing the fact that, you know, we as humans, we as the community are not perfect, but, you know, we're also not the stereotypes. We're not, you know, all the, you know what I'm talking about, the Black stereotypes, the food check, all that stuff. I don't even need to say it. And so I really love seeing that and then see everybody go through their problems. And, you know, Mel, you know, even there was a line, I can't remember who said it. It's like, oh, well, you have 4 kids. You can't find love. She's like, no, I'm not going to let that negativity come to me. I believe in myself. I believe that I deserve that. Mm-hmm. And that's often a stereotype that, you know, comes along with it. So I love that being showcased, that Black love does exist and it's not perfection. 15 years, like, you know, 15 years of marriage is not perfection. 1 year.
Oh, 15 years and not a word from you. Okay. I had to, you guys. I had to say it, honey. I had to sing it. Shout out to Miss Toni Braxton, honey. Okay.
Year of marriage is not, it's all work. So I really love that balance of it.
And I think, well, thank you for that. And I think even for me, I'm gay and I'm not in a heterosexual relationship, but I learned so much from my cast. And I have so many friends who are single and I have so many friends who are married, but they both collectively say to me, this is real. And I'm learning so much about relationships or, you know, what's been so interesting is this, and a lot of people may not understand this. I get more messages in front of my face or on the comments where people really want Martell and Melody to get back together. They are like, I understand what he did or I understand what happened, but I just love them together. And I think that just goes to show you what you said, like, Black love and love in general, there's so many different facets of that. Mm-hmm. And I think the beauty is no one's perfect. No relationship is perfect. We have celebrities who we admire that have been through the ringer, but they're still together and we root them on.
Yeah, but I feel, and I get where Carlos is coming from. I know there is an audience that really want Melody and Martell to get back together. Is Miss Robinson a part of that audience? Hell to the no, no. I think collectively, if we're all honest, we have seen people cheat in their relationships and then maybe years down the line, you know, maybe that particular couple was able to work on that relationship. But guys, it takes two. And to me, Martell has disrespected Melody over and over and over and over. Like, it wasn't like it was just once or twice. It was just like over and over and over and over. Now you done had a full-blown baby. See, the fact that we even got to the damn baby part, honey, is what makes Miss Robinson damn near fall out, honey, okay? And you got to perform CPR to bring my ass back, honey, okay? That's where I'm at with it. Like, I can't imagine, like, Melody going back to such a disrespectful man. And if you really listen to how Martell speaks in his interviews that I have played for you all, he does not at all sound remorseful. It's kind of like, well, let me blame Melody because she was over here with the attorney, and let me turn it around. Like, if he really owned his shit, he would never bring up anything that Melody did after he cheated. Nigga, you created this. Okay, and I'm going to say this to you men, if you want your woman to be faithful, you got to be faithful. It ain't even just about you just being with her. You got to be supportive of her. You got to communicate with her. Like, y'all be wanting all this loyalty and y'all don't give it. You got to give it in order to get it, okay? So, y'all put it down in the comments. Are you one of those audience members that want Melody and Martell to get back together? Do you think that they could come back from, everything with Coleslaw? I don't think so, honey, but maybe, somebody else feels differently, honey. Okay.
So that allowed me to look at love and marriage in terms of there's people out there who are rooting for them to come together again. And I think that's the beauty in people really respecting the sanctity of marriage and relationships and saying, things may not be perfect, but I don't want to see them break up.
Right. No, yeah, I agree. There are moments where I'm like, man, y'all should get back together. And then, Martell says some stuff. I'm just kind of like, never mind. Just you. You have a lot to figure out. Maybe in a couple of years. With that being said, we had a reality guest host for...
All right, you guys, that's all I have to say about all of that. Y'all get down in Miss Robinson's comments, honey. Let me know what you thought about this here video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.